And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. My apologies for that technical hiccup that I experienced, but currently the score is in favor of the Shanghai Staggered. 1-0, map number 1, Hanamura. We're gonna break it down here before we jump into map number 2, control map, Lijiang Tower. But first, Spiff, I want you to tell me what went right for Staggered.
Shanghai Staggered did a great defense, and they did give up the first tick, but once they got back and they were defending second point, I just think their positioning, their use of ults, their timing and dealing with how the different avenues of attack that Carolina was doing, I think it was Shanghai just was able to get that defense more solid, and Carolina's was just underneath it, so it allowed them to get that final winning tick.
GL, your technical breakdown as to what could have maybe gone a little different for the side of Cosmic.
Cosmic, they fell into the trap of wanting to go the same path over and over, especially into something that heavily favored the enemy. Those tight corners with the Junkrat, having the Ryan walk into the Reaper as well, and I was to say the Hanzo, I apologize. And it didn't do them justice. They sort of kept going mid, changing up the plan, just like the Shanghai did. They came in, they tried once, they got in, and they tried again. They didn't go the same way twice, so that was really awesome on them. So hopefully we can see the same coming out of them out of this match.
And with that in mind, we're going to jump into map number 2. It's going to be, as you may already heard, Lijiang Tower. So casters, please.
Hell yeah.
Take it away.
Hello guys, again, I am Swiftastic. With me is GL. He's going to do my beautiful color casting, sir. Happy Sunday again. How hyped are you for this second map?
I'm extremely excited, honestly. I love to see a comeback, and right now this is the chance. They're down 1. This is the time the team gets together, and they actually change that mentality, and they come back even stronger. Hopefully, we see a really tight match. This does favor Ryan Zarya a lot on these maps, so I'm excited to see some good frontline battle. I'm wondering what's going on. I see Ryan Winston. This is surprising.
Shanghai loves to do this. They have reasonings behind it, and I also know the reasons why you never see them actually play Ghost. But I do we expected it. Super King has come in and is going to be on that Reaper, and Retix is going to be starting off on the Genji. And I love what they're doing right now. They do it every time. They go straight to the point. They say, hey, we're going to fight on the point. If you want to come have the engage, you need to come over here. And that's one of the reasons I think they always have an advantage here on Lijiang Tower, any control map. Charge comes out. It's going to be making it to the side. Great stun from McCree, getting enough damage right in the face. That virus is going to fall down. So is Hero.
Boop.
The boop with the sentry from Rune Lee is going to start the snowball right now. Triple boop in the first encounter. Jock does get Ranger in retaliation, but it's going to be Shanghai getting those first few ticks.
That's absolutely beautiful to see. That we already see Rune right now having the ult advantage over the enemy Lucio. This is going to play big in this coming fight right now. I'm very surprised to see that they chose to fight on the edge. I'm not sure why they didn't come down mid. They kind of begged the Lucio to do it to them.
He capitalized and it worked. Get a stun into a delete from Star Destroyer. Ranger Reaper does
beautiful
fall.
Charge.
That's 5 and 5 as Jacques falls to the Reaper, and they are going to continue pushing forward because they are up.
Beautiful play.
Triple people on the ground. Triple people are going to be swept up with a hammer thanks to Manameme, and that's going to be a change of ownership. 35% Shanghai, but we're starting Carolina.
Very, very nice to see. Now we see that they have Blade, so I wonder what's going to be used here. They have a grab to counter it through Star, but if Genji can get in with the space made with the beat drop, we can see maybe even a possible team wipe right here, right now. Oh, Ryan goes down.
Stunned to a deletion. Great coordination. It's the McCree into the Brig stun into everybody going for the phase. 10 seconds, and they're going to back up. And look at these ults we have up here, GL.
Man, this is gonna become a battle of the grabs. Hopefully, when grab goes out, everyone doesn't panic and press Q like you said earlier. Let's see what happens. If we can build up a nano, we can see Virus getting the electric cowboy. But with Winston's primal, I'm wondering what's really going to play out with these two tanks. I'm just confused with the choice.
Rally comes over,
there we
lazy.
go.
High Noon comes out. Great Anna grenade as well. Grab coming out. Die as well. Not finding anyone until the end. That's a triple kill for Shanghai. Only 3 members of Carolina left. Make that 2. And Angry Monkey comes out. The Anna boost onto Mana. It's not going to be there in time. Already got the point during that fight. Though Manamine does find Rune Lee. Chicken Eager gets his own double kill. It'll sweep up the rest of Carolina. It is back in favor of Shanghai Staggered.
Absolutely intense fight. 7 total ultimates used from both teams. Looked absolutely fantastic on the screen, but maybe it was a little bit too much on both sides. Not exactly sure what Manatee's gonna be able to do coming down mid now, but maybe he can get the slam going off. Let's see if the Brigitte can make the space. Nope, he doesn't get it. He doesn't. Oh, beautiful pin.
Didn't get it. Ryutix does GG no karaoke. Gets hero. Manaming's able to find Super King Nick. The Shatter does not find anyone that he used when he was trying to flank around. He went into a shield of the Winston, but that's still going to be enough for Carolina to get this team wipe. 75% for Shanghai, now going close to 60% for Carolina.
Now this is the point that I would want to see. Yes, there we go. Chicken Nugget has swapped off the Winston because it is now more difficult to push with 2 main tanks into the Reaper Brigitte. No one can peel for each other, but now that they have the bubbles, they should be able to move in. Oh, what a flank by Reaper. He's purple, but he takes it away. Ryan is still up, and you don't have to worry about that.
It didn't work. He didn't get deleted this time, but the rally comes out from Lazy. Jock is getting pretty low. Manamine does have his Shatter ready to go. Maybe looking to play those mind games. Another stun into Ranger. Not going to be enough to take him down. They're moving on to play. Big Anna grenade from Carolina onto Shanghai, and they just get deleted thanks to another great Shatter from Manamine. Super King Nick trying to salvage it, realizing he needed to make a play. They only had so much time left. Uses the die. Not going to happen. Virus finishes up sweeping off Ryutix, and once Shanghai did not take the first one on a control map, Carolina just took it.
Absolutely fantastic. Exactly what I wanted to see. The comeback. The unorthodox Ryan Winston. Very, very interesting choice. It seemed to allow him to take the first point, but the sustain wasn't there. So it was good to see that they swapped, but just a little bit too late there.
Yeah, I think the Zari bubble would have helped Ranger stop getting deleted the several times. That could have been another influence. And if he had the Zari bubble, when he did get stunned, like chain stunned basically, and deleted twice on that last map, Zari bubble would have been able to save him. Coming out, he's going to go ahead and start on the Zarya, which I can totally agree with. Ryutix is going to be taking a little more farther distance approach by going on to the Hanzo. No real big changes coming out on the side of Carolina as they are speed boosting. Both teams deciding to go on the far end, which I believe they call white, here on the second point of Lijiang Tower.
Now I do see...
Go for it.
Oh, I do see that they have the Ana. They should be able to win in the triple healer lineup, and they have. It is generally considered that Mora does not beat out the Ana heals with the nades and the sleeps. So I'm very surprised. Let's see if they choose to maintain the Mora coming on this next push. And this is just a stagger right here. It's unfortunate.
Stagger on the stagger, and it's going to be first few percentages going to Carolina. Now they both win in the same place, and the switch is going to stay on Moira. It's not... I mean, you can't... Moira's heals do not go through a Reinhardt shield, but Reinhardt was more or less swinging his hammer. And
Moira should have coalescence this fight. Let's see if she can push the enemy right. Oh, slam goes
Shatter
down.
Comes out. Not going to be able to have a big follow-up either, but Ryutix does get down. Jock. Virus really
takes the pick.
Goes out of the fight. Mari is taken down by Star Destroyer. This is double kill on a Super King as well. Ranger charges through. Doesn't even get a pin before he's taken down. And it's down. Ryutix is getting some picks, getting some ult charge. He's going to be close to his dragon, but it's still right now in control of Carolina.
And now we see that we have a lot of support ultimates coming online, so now it's going to come down to the discipline of those players to use them appropriately. Big things that I need to worry about right now is the Graviton coming online. That's going to give Ryan another slam, so we got to see if the Mora uses the Coalescence to push the Ryan in, and they get their offensive ultimates online on time. There it is. Let's see.
And there's your Coalescence from the Ryan. The grab comes out from Carolina.
Dragon.
Dragon knocked me. A Shatter comes out from enemy. Gets both healers. Gets the pin. Gets
fantastic.
Oh, I love when you see a charging Ryan get the pin kill and the collateral damage that actually comes out from Ryan's charge. So those who are not pinned by him are instead pushed back and take 50 damage. So great double kill on a single ability. That's not a fire strike. And Carolina is still holding strong against what I was expecting to be a very heavy side of favoring Shanghai.
See, this time they went ahead and switched to the fair. They're looking to see if they can disable this double
Die going in. It's gonna be shielded and gonna be taken down by
down.
Thor.
Big slam.
Shatter. He's not gonna have enough follow up, but there was a huge shatter from Ranger. Nobody was there to make the plays afterwards. Ryutix does get the single kill for Shanghai, and they are gonna be putting it in overtime. Runely is there. Super King is coming right around the back. Ryutix is taken out by Virus. It is Lucio trying to keep it alive. Gonna be taken out by the Fire Strike from Manamine. Ranger is on here, on point, but gets grenaded. Chicken Nugget comes, leaps on point. It is basically overtime central right now. But Virus is very easily cleaning up these tanks. Lazy here to getting Mirari, and Super King's falling to Manamine. And guys, for the first time this season, Shanghai Staggered has given up a control map. Carolina Cosmic evens up the score 1-1.
An absolutely fantastic play to be seen here. Love the comeback. And the play of the game goes to Rune Lee with the double and the triple boop, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's see it. There it is.
Oh, beautiful. Is there going to have enough time to get the Zarya as well? Oh,
there it is.
Just in time. Oh, what a beautiful play. And as you were saying, comeback. So, guys, we're going to be taking a short break. We're going to be going into map number 3 in about 10 minutes as we take that basically halftime intermission. Don't go in here.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. So that was map number 2, and call me San Francisco shook because I was not expecting that result from the side of Shanghai Staggered, and I apologize for the pun. That's not my role, that's Rambino's. But Spiff, let's talk about your team, quote unquote Shanghai Staggered. What happened? Blizzard even gave them a buff for their Reaper play. Can you quickly break it down for us, please?
I think what happened is they recognized how much Super Kings already was doing, and was able to not let him get the big plays that usually happen. Both Ranger and Manamine had great Ryan plays that just basically shut down what could have happened and didn't happen. And I'm just still in shock because it's not that Shanghai played bad on the first one. On the second one, you know what? I'll let GL say it because I don't want to say anything bad about my Shanghai Staggered.
GL, please break it down for us. Technically, what went wrong? So wrong for Staggered. Once again, you might not be too familiar with them, but they were undefeated when it comes to control maps. All the way up to now, semifinals, when you are the color caster. Maybe they need Rambino. But please break it down as to what went wrong for them.
All right, so maybe it might be a confidence issue. They felt comfortable coming into the map. Maybe that had played a factor. It could have been the new patch. What I think happened was they didn't recognize the needs of their tanks. They played the Ryan and the Winston. It looks like the Winston was trying to shut out the Ana with the bubble, but once he engages, no one can follow up. The Reaper is between the Ryan and the Winston, and it's hard for the DPS to move in. I personally would have liked to see them after the first push be like, all right, we tried, we can't get in, let's get that D.Va. D.Va's still such a fantastic pick, especially against Reaper. You can just zone him out. Just you can't waste your Matrix, but it's a lot harder for Reaper to do work on your shield, on your team. Zarya's still good. It's just a strong pairing. Even if you get purple, so you can cleanse the Rhine. You can keep pushing, but unfortunately, they did not have that. They didn't have the strong burst damage coming from a high charge Zarya. They didn't have the Matrix, and it just got shut down over and over again, unfortunately.
Not even a Roadhog, maybe to get that hook into play. But they did end up switching over to Zarya on the second map when things weren't looking so good for themselves, right? So they said, okay, maybe we need to switch off from the composition that we've been running throughout the entire season. Do you think that was a right call? Spiff, this question's for you. Do you think that was the right call for them to do it? I mean, at the end, it didn't quite work out.
I mean, Chicken Nugger is a good monkey, and I do like that he went on to the Zarya. They were able to kind of push and finally get to the point once that happened, but there was already confidence, and there was already ult economy on the side of Carolina. Hero was hitting those great Ana grenades. They knew where they were coming from. They were holding them at their choke. There wasn't really they came the high ground the one time, but they basically shut down so many potential advances coming from Shanghai. It's just great defense once they got the point from Carolina.
Now let's focus on the winning side of Carolina Cosmic. You and I, Spiff, have been casting and seeing their matches throughout the entire season. I don't want to mention again, but we are a little bit surprised that they actually took a W on control map against Shanghai Staggered. Great job. What went right for them, in your opinion?
They did their homework. I mean, especially in the OWCC. Again, Shanghai has that reputation of and the record of not losing control points. So I expect they maybe went back, look at some VODs, maybe they looked at it back at a previous match they had with them and tried to figure out, okay, what would work against their usual comps? Because you saw the subs coming in on the side of Shanghai, and you actually saw some of them actually go out now as Cactus is coming in for Ranger, because they do have kind of their very comfortable setup for control maps. And I think Carolina Cosmic was able to continuously shut down one key player after another, and it let them get the W.
I want to know your thoughts on that, GL. What worked out for the winning side of Carolina Cosmic?
Big shout out to their Ana player.
Hero.
Yes, absolutely. Did a fantastic job not only maintaining, but he also won the matchup in the triple healers, because even if the enemy has the coalescence, you get the peel for your main tank with the instant 300 HP, the nano boost, and he could take a full coalescence to the face, and you can just keep pumping healing into him, and he's gonna beat that enemy Rhine, and he's gonna take any damage for the tickle damage from Winston. Fantastic shout out as well to his Zarya, kept them bubbled, kept them alive, and he got those shatters out there. Star Destroyer, fantastic Zarya I've seen tonight. So big kudos to him. Good discipline with his bubbles. So I hope to see more out of him tonight. Let's see if both of those guys can keep the good work up.
Excellent. And we're gonna talk about map number 3. That's gonna be Dorado. I want to know, do we like this map? Do we hate it? What are we expecting to come up on both sides? This question, we're gonna start off with you, GL. You're an attack. How do you approach the first choke?
my personal favorite is to still go dive, right? It's pretty easy to run as long as you're communicating with your team. You go up there, cart keeps moving the whole time. You drop to get a little bit of heals, and you just keep the ball and the fight away from the cart as you push forward. Another fun traditional strategy, when in doubt, just bashing out, just put them on that cart, get around the corner, and you just keep that heavy sustain. But Goats is still very, very favored here, as well as this very, very spicy quad DPS. So maybe we'll see that on this map here, particularly on defense side, but you never know. So I'm excited to see what they got.
Spiff, this question's for you. You're on defense. How do you put a team together, a composition to go against a GL offense?
If you're going against the GL offense of what he was saying, I'd like to see basically the anti-dive. So I'd like to see a Brig, I'd like to see Anna, and I'd like to see... I was actually expecting to see more of a... in my head, the best place to hold is back by Fountain. And when Fountain actually like kicks up, people like to actually poke from the top a little bit first, down the main corridor. I really hope we don't see it. We haven't seen it very often, where the main defense actually tries to hold up there, because they're going to be easy dive targets. There's only the one mega that they can try and retreat to. They're going to be mowed down. So I want to see them poke, and then I want to see them back up into the more defensible position with ranged attackers and the counter dive of a Brigade.
Well, with that in mind, guys, we are about to get started with Dorado. But for the meantime, I want to ask one last question for you guys. Who are we looking to see essentially pop off here, coming up on map number 3 for the side of Shanghai Staggered? They coming out, losing control map. This question's for you, Spiff. Who needs to step up a little bit more?
I'm going to say Ryutix. I'm used to seeing him popping off a lot, but not as big of plays as I'm used to seeing. And it could be because of the great healing and defense coming out on the other side from Carolina. But we've, especially here with me and Julik and Rambino, and hopefully GL, you'll see some of it, but we kind of put Ryutix on his own little pedestal of, oh, he's just doing Ryutix stuff. Now on for the rest of the DPS. So I want to see him come back to where we know he can go.
And GL, from the side of Cosmic, you did mention Diana. Are you thinking that maybe someone else should be stepping up, or you're looking to see more crazy plays from the support side of the Cosmic team?
No, I definitely want to see more from the support side. Like, the better the support is, the more likely your team is to win, because they're taking away pressure from the tanks and the DPS. If the supports are killing the enemy for you, then what do you have all the best chances in the world, all right? So I want to see Ana keep doing what they're doing. The other supports enabling. The team is doing fantastic right now, so as they can maintain this, they got it in the bag. So let's see if they're able to keep this going.
All right, boys. Once again, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the map coming up. Casters, take it away.
Gentlemen, welcome back. Map for the top left, you have in the blue, you have your Shanghai Staggered. Top right, in your red, you have your Carolina Cosmic. We are on map 3. It is tied 1-1. We are on Dorado. I am Spifftastic, and with me again is GL doing my colors. Sir, happy Sunday.
How's it going, Spifftastic? I'm having a wonderful Sunday. I'm enjoying the games that I'm watching right now, and I'm hoping to see even better plays than I've seen now. Hopefully Ryu can find that nice spot. Maybe he just needed a game or two to warm up, and to keep seeing fantastic support play. And Star Destroyer has stood out in my mind, so I'm looking to see a great performance from him on this map.
Well, I'm looking forward to see some great back and forth Overwatch. Not uncommonly, we'll see map 5s coming out from Shanghai quite often, especially when they're going up such a great team as Carolina. But here we are on the first payload map of the matchup. Again, payload is simply attackers need to be near the payload to move it forward. The progression of the payload stops when there is no attackers on it, or if a defender is there to contest it. So the goal of the attackers is to push it all the way to the end. The goal of the defenders is to not let that happen. First coming out from defense is going to be Shanghai, and they are looking strong. They're kind of sticking, hopefully, maybe they heard my inner thinkings, they just don't have the Brigitte, but the anti-dive that I see is going to be Super King Nick on that Reaper, and basically a lot of poke damage is from Ryutix. So maybe we'll see some more dragons coming out from him, but they are in that first little poke spot, and I love that Mama RG is doing the jump rope, and they are doing it fairly well coordinated. They have 3 members in there. Good job, Shanghai. Coming up from
Very,
attack,
very nice.
can you break down Carolina's attack plan right here?
Let's see. They're putting a lot of pressure on the McCree here. It looks like they want to go for a brawl with the triple tank and use the stun to enable that push forward. But ultimately, it depends on how the enemy chooses to engage them. If they drop too early, that flash will catch them. So let's see how it goes. Reapers looks like he's going for the flank. Let's see if
He's
it
going for
pays
the
off.
flank. It's nice. I like that he's on the high ground. He's not dropping down. He's just going for some early poke. He's not getting a lot of damage. He's going to fall down. He still has his Wraith. It's still good. Good advanced matrix. Trying to make sure no one dies. Chicken Nugget is being very aggressive, not letting actually get through this first archway, which is the main choke. This is the archway, and then the next one's going to be right at the fountain because of a lot of the sightlines run off. Oh, great integrated onto Rinley's
fantastic.
from Illumi. Chicken Nugget does get Urzo down. Chicken Nugget is then punished but brought back up, so the Rhine is the only Rhine alive is going to be the side of Shanghai. It is kind of giving pause for Carolina to push forward. There is 5 of them there, but still a full 5 against on the defenders as well. So they are evenly matched if they decide to move forward. They're going to wait for, because he is basically the enabler to make that space. Super King pushing forward to be a little more aggressive with Chicken Nugget. And a boost onto the Ryan gets to
He's going in.
Delete Chicken Nugget, and a sleeping
Oh, what a
Cactus is going to be
pitch.
charged with that Ana boost. Does allow the charge to completely destroy Cactus. High noon comes out from Illumi, but Ryutik shuts him down. They almost really didn't even need that high noon. They could have saved it. But Sek does finish off Chicken Nugget, and it's going to be RG and Roomley, both healers, trying to stall as best they can. Really die on point. Tell you what, Dragon Strike coming out. Almost going to get Hero. Hero actually gets the Enter Grenade kill onto Momo. RG second able to finish off Ryutix and Runely. And I love the thing that Shanghai did, even though Carolina's going to keep pushing forward.
And that was absolutely fantastic. I like how they took it. They took the brawl and they won the fight. It was good to see. And I see Elam has actually swapped to Genji. Looks like he used the high-handed swap. Reaper coming in. Can he get the picks? Got the one. He's got the
kick
Diva
onto
mech.
Jock and gets the
What a
connect
pin.
next to Ryutix. Great, yeah, beautiful job. Chicken are getting Urzo, and they did get back in full force. I was going to point out that one of the things that most teams will not do, especially when they're on defense, is they will, when they realize the fight is lost, they will instead try and back up. When I've always heard, and I always agree with, the best thing to do is to die on payload, because you are stopping you're stopping the progression. Although you might get staggered, you still would have even more time to get back to your team to get that defense back up. So I'm going to say good job, Shanghai.
Big slam. It's a 2-man
on the ground, trying to find a cleanup. Does get Hero in the back. Both Reinhardts charging into each other, but Ryutix gets the Storm Arrow kill onto Urzo, and Shanghai's going to be able to push back this last attack that came out from Carolina.
Man, I just want to point out Momo Marie is doing a fantastic job as Mercy. Not very much appreciated in competitive these days, but she is doing her job, providing the heals and staying out of danger. And if you notice, that damage boost is just tearing through the enemy team, especially with the triple tank. So big shout out to Mama there. Hopefully we can see.
RG, you have been given the shout out on the GL. It's going to be happening here. Goes up to the Valkyrie Helm, set the grab and the Dragon Strike. Dragon Strike crowns Hero in the back. The grab is not going to be followed up. Charge gone to Cactus. Nerf this. Ryutik's getting that double kill into Lumi. Super King's going to finish off Urzo. Die in the back from Super King.
Two-man.
Make sure there is no more people here from Carolina. A great cleanup from the defensive side of Shanghai Staggered.
Very, very nice. And they're able to get the resurrection, so they don't have to worry about a stagger. They can hold this choke. In fact, if they want to guarantee the win, they need to push up just a little bit. Make sure they don't get past this point, and the card keeps moving back. But I suspect the fight is about to happen on that objective any moment now. Looks like they're pushing hard. They got the nano.
Gets the Lucio ult, gets the Ana Grenade,
the blade.
They're using everything. Blade gets RG on the ground from the shatter. Double kill from Illumi as Chicken Nugget falls as well. Triple kill onto Star Destroyer, Illumi and Jock, keeping the fight possibly alive. It is now 3-on-3. A great Ana Grenade again from Hero allows Ryutix to be cleaned up, and as well gets Cactus himself. It is just really here trying to keep it alive, keep the stall going. But that's a cleanup, and I think they're going to have time to get another defense.
It's going to be a close one. It's going to be a dirty fight. Let's see what Ryan can do. He got the big
Another
purple.
Fat and
Big
grenade
purple.
onto Chicken Nugget. Allows him to be deleted again. Sect with his own double kill. Star Destroyer, who is now on the Diva instead of the Zarya, able to finish off Mama RG, but great push from Carolina.
Great job. Man, can I just say that was just a fantastic round to watch. They had such great discipline on the offensive side. They went straight to point. The only thing I think could have gone better was they gave the nano to the Rhine, I wonder why they didn't give it to the Genji. Like, it's very dangerous to play Genji without a blade. He could be focused down very easily, and I see they got first pick. First pick by Ryu on the soldier.
Yeah, Lumi was trying to flank, get some poke damage, basically draw the attention. It's not going to be enough because Rutix turns around and puts an arrow to his face. So it is right now in favor of Shanghai 6v5 as the payload is stopped right around this corner. Charge comes out from Star Destroyer, who is now on the Brigitte, so no stun, just a little bit. Super King trying to poke and maybe do a lot of damage. Stun comes out, Super King
no stun.
used to get out. Here comes out another Ana boost. Grab coming out from both sides. Dragon Strike is going to finish off Hero, but Sek does get him hard. Both two healers down. Super King and Chicken Nugget, however, fall to Jacques and Urzo, so it's going in favor of Carolina. Rooney's actually being very sneaky, again, contesting the payload, although wasn't with the rest of his team during that team fight, did stop a lot of progression that could have happened. Carolina pushing forward.
This is going to sit by them 2 more fights. If they can win this one, they'll definitely get another one right afterwards. Now, the big thing they need to worry about is Reaper does have ultimate, and they have a beat drop to protect them. If they can get the stun out of Brigitte, that Reaper is going to have free reign into the enemy team, and should allow Urso to get that slam. There it is!
Valkyrie comes out, it's stun onto the Die, gets some damage on the shield, and is going to get that stun cooldown used from Brigitte. Now they got Rutix in the fight. Urso as he puts his shield out of the direction he was trying to find.
Ryan's being caught alone.
He is getting really low. Great Zarya bubble to keep him alive. He does have a shatter if he needs it, because it is still relatively a close fight at 6v5, but they are deciding to back up from Carolina. Illumi gets the Helix Rocket kill on Rutix. Double kill, actually getting Super King both DPS down for Shanghai. If Carolina was going to push forward, they're going to do it now.
Here comes the Visor.
Visor from the high ground in the church is not finding anyone to fight yet.
What a beautiful
gets the
double.
Mama RG, and looks like Carolina just needs to clean up Chicken Nugget right now, because it looks like they're going to get point B, and let's see what Shanghai can do on point B.
Very nice job by the soldier there. I like the jump that he did. Just came from an unexpected angle. He's doing some mighty good work on soldier right now. I'm very impressed with this. And they have the ultimate advantage, and they're pushing up. If they can get an ultimate out of the enemy team, they will have the advantage coming around the corner. Let's see, and they do.
I like the fact that they have done that. Not enough teams will push forward, only leaving one person on the payload, especially if that person is Ana, because she's already able to use her heals from the cart, pushing it forward just slightly. And he's actually going to be destroyed by Rutix, so the first pick of this engagement has happened.
There it is.
Coming right on top, basically splitting the field, getting them off the point so they can push forward, giving them the space. The people think he just wasted the Dragon Strike. No, he basically made it so there was no main contest from Carolina. They got the space so Chicken Nugget can move forward onto it, but look at the ults that Carolina has.
And now they have the advantage. They were forced to play the Dragon ult, and now they're coming in with 6. Here comes the grab. Here comes...
It's Rune Lee, gets to be pummeled by Die. Super King Nick on the other side actually trying to Die. Gets Jacques after he had gotten...
Oh, they're getting the res?
Gets the res on Rune Lee! Illumi does get the pick onto RG. Being so rude is to try and get that res, but they are strong, they are still here. They did use just beat. They used Ana, but they still have another Visor. They have a Cactus trying to figure out what he's going to be going on, because they only have a shatter on the side of Shanghai.
They have nothing to really defend it. They did go Diva to stop it. There's the Visor.
A great shatter comes out from
Fantastic.
Chicken. It's not going to be enough for filled out. Hero does finish him off. They are up 6v3 now as Super King falls into Urzo. Here comes out the Dragon again, right on point, trying to get them to stop pushing the payload. Not really used to get kills, more or less to zone. Rutix has gone onto the point to try and contest. They did get it in overtime. Illumi does finish him off, but great play, great push from Carolina, so they got to all the way to the end.
Score 0-3.
Now, what would have a Shanghai needed to do differently? Like, what caused them to not be able to dig in their heels? Because they essentially were, they didn't actually find a great point of defense on that last.
They did not. At the end of, or the start of second point, they started getting pushed in, and they got staggered there. They took the fights just a little bit too long, and the offensive side did the right job of pushing up, forced them to use those ultimates, and especially at the beginning of third point, they used nothing. They pushed up so they couldn't push anymore, and they had to use dragons and any other ability just to get them to stop, and they came in with 6, and it was too much for them to do on the recontest. It was a great job by the enemy team there.
Great job. And we're switching sides. We're going to see what Shanghai can do in attack, see what Carolina can do on defense. And again, guys, if Shanghai is able to get to the end as well, they're going to be given an equal opportunity. This is an equal opportunity map from Dorado. Even though Carolina does not have any time left, they will be given 1 minute to push the payload as far as they can within that 1 minute. But it's first going to have to come down to Shanghai to getting to the end, as Carolina just did. Now, there's slightly little difference coming out from Carolina. They're going with, again, they've basically been sticking with this the whole time, the triple heals for the huge sustain, and they stick with the 1 DPS. What do you think?
I think it's very, very strong. The ability to peel for each other, the Brigida's 150 to just take somebody out of the fire is absolutely fantastic. But Ashe has a lot of pressure on his shoulders. He needs to be able to do damage, and if that Reaper gets too close, it can become a very bad day for this team right now.
Now Shanghai has decided to go with more of the dive comp, very mobile, very high groundage. Chicken Nugget and Cactus going to be on your tanks, and we got Ryutix crawling up the top, trying to do some poke damage, maybe bait some cooldown usage out from the side of Carolina. Super King is getting super low. That's going to be healed up just in time. Cactus, it looks like Chicken Nugget dives in the back, trying to get stun out of Brigitte. Illumi's actually going to find Ryutix with a shot to the face. And that's going to get the confidence of Carolina to start pushing forward and stopping any progression from the Shanghai Staggered, seconding his own double kill onto RG and Runely. And I mean, the Stagger on Stagger. What did Shanghai, did they initiate wrong? Like, did they push, they did the wrong targets? What's the difference? And Cactus is actually trying to get killed, but it's definitely going to get staggered instead.
What I really saw was when they dove above. Cactus, no. But when they dove above, they used a lot of resources to get up there, and then they popped the bubble, and then they're stuck up there waiting for the heals, and the whole time they're just taking damage, and it was too much. They had to reposition. They gave up that fantastic high ground, and the staging was gone. Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot
from Ryutix. Shot, dynamite, blow up, kills Jock, and that kind of evens out. The Cactus has just now come back team fight. Bob comes out from
coming in
right on point. Now Urzo does finish off Chicken Nugget, but Bob is here, so it's essentially still more in favor of Carolina until Super King Nick does all the damage to Bob's face.
Urzo's coming on with slam. It could be a big slam here. Let's see
if they can get it. Dynamite comes out, gets Reinhardt, starts to burning. This is staying the high ground. Super King Nick trying to get out with his Wraith form, does regroup the rest of his team. Cactus gets stunned and gets hit out of his mech just enough. Star Destroyer getting Runely, but in pace for with Super King. Ryutix even it up as Hero is taken out. Runely comes back in. If they need to, Shanghai can push forward on this. They just need to heal up Chicken Nugget and Super King, as they are gonna push forward. And Carolina's realizing there's only 3 of them here. The Bob comes out from the side of Shanghai, putting damage into Sec, and he's shielded by Urzo. And they come back. The rest of Carolina is here. If they want to try and contest, they still worry about the Bob. Urzo tries to get onto the point, does not.
Very nice, good counter pin.
And actually, they're going to just start. They realize that Carolina has come up this far. They definitely have spawn advantage. They have the man advantage.
And they're pushing up. They need to take advantage of this time right now. They're losing opportunities to get these stagger kills, and it appears the window is gone. I just want to put a special shout out. That Bob there split the enemy, forced them away from the objective, and that bought time for them to regroup and take the point. That was a great job there by Ryu.
I'm going to be excited to see how Carolina Cosmic is with the defense against Shanghai, which is on the high ground. Ryutix getting a double kill. Here comes out the Ana boost is going to be used. Is not Chicken Nugget is actually going to be sleeping on the job, woken up by Azaria's ship, but Azaria right click. I'm surprised they even used the Ana boost after that double kill coming out from Ryutix, because they have now 5 ults. But what I was going to say is, I want Carolina to plan out these ults and use them properly. I actually would have liked. Do you see Ana boosted Bobs enough?
I don't actually. It's a lot of damage, and the biggest thing is it creates a distraction to let you heal up your team or to get them in position. Here comes the grab. Here comes the reroll ultimate. Beautiful. Gets a double, gets a triple.
Oh, great job. Quad kill from Super King. But I put also another Bob was used as well, so both DPS ults used on the side of Shanghai. But I want to again give props to Hero for another great Ana grenade, which basically allowed the only kill that came out the side of Carolina.
I see Hero seems to be getting caught out in the open a lot. I wonder if his team can do something about maybe supporting him or putting him away from the danger. He seems to be always the last one alive, and he doesn't. Who
would be the person to do that in this composition right now? Would it be the Brigitte? Would it be the booping power from?
I would like to see his other supports look out for him just a little bit more. Let's see, Bob comes in, slam, big slam. Oh, even bigger slam.
Cleaning up. It's 5v5 right now. As
the charge doesn't connect.
Bob gets the kill on Runely. Urzo getting chicken nugger. It is right now in favor of Carolina, and it looks like Shanghai recognizes this. Is going to go ahead and try and back up, being pocketed just barely. Great. Another great dynamite coming out from Ryutix. Already has his Bob up again, but they're going to be swept and cleaned up, and they're going to reset. But back again to who do you think needs to protect someone that, although they're not playing Ashe anymore, Hero has switched off onto the more mobile and sustainable version of Moira, whose job in their makeup was going to be basically the protector of Arena.
I would have liked to see the Lucio actually done a little bit more. Maybe hang out with them, be cognizant of where they're at. Right now, though, as the match is happening, what the attackers need to do is they need to build ultimates. They don't have a lot in the bank right now. They need to make. Oh, okay.
Bob's gonna watch their 6.
Yeah,
as
Bob's got the flank. Bob's got the flank.
But good job, Bob.
Right now,
using healing again. The damage boost could be pretty strong.
There's the beat.
Lucio ult U is they're pushing really. They're holding their W key very strong. The Lucio ult is going to be fading right now. Star Destroyer finishes off Chicken Nugget, and his hybrid does get Super King. RG does come back with a kill onto Illumi. But it falls to Sect and Carolina right now in the top part of this defense. They only have 2 more minutes. Let's see what Shanghai can do after they reset one more time.
Man, I'm kind of confused as to the Diva pick right now because I just see you have the potential with Bob, but maybe Grav might be a stronger choice right now. Actually let the Reaper move in. You have a potential to combo with him. You can bubble him. Matrix does have a big window now, so if we don't see the our Cactus is being a little bit more careful. Ooh, he missed the orb there. It's very easy for those mistakes to happen now if you're not careful. So hopefully we can see good value out of the bomb right here.
They are pushing forward onto the high ground, which I like, basically pushing Illumi off of it so they can be in a more dominant position. They are going to keep moving the payload forward. On the top, Bob comes out from Carolina, stops the payload.
Bob.
Great shatter, just goes into a wall, not able to
Here
do
comes the bomb.
This going in the back line. Is it going to be caught out? Does find Star Destroyer, and a great shot from the side of Shanghai.
Beautiful.
Super King.
Beautiful.
Double kill from him. Double kill from Murtix. 3K from Super King Nick. And with over a minute left, Shanghai Staggered gets the 3 points here on Dorado. We're going to give one more back and forth and see what happens.
Man, Super just said, I'm going to put the team on my back. I don't care. I got this. That was a fantastic play by him. Fantastic job.
Man, we can't get through this choke that Carolina was holding up, and great defense. What are we going to do? Super King says, hold my beer. And it does make it happen. Great combo, great follow-up. Do you think that was... I wasn't actually expecting anybody to get caught out by the Diva Bomb, but it did look like Brigitte was not able to get around the side. Interesting Brigitte point that I try and watch videos. I'm trying to get better myself at the game. Someone mentioned, and again, this is Masters and higher, they were Brigitte players. They don't use the stun as much for stun, but more for mobility when they are basically waiting for a dive tank. Do you agree?
It really depends on the style of play and knowing your objectives. So if you know the enemy Reaper has ultimate, you don't need that movement ability. You need to be ready to stun it. And if you need to close distance because you're not waiting on anything, then by all means, because the flail is so strong, as we all know. So many headaches to many Ryan players. It's so powerful, and they keep that inspired going. But it just, again, it depends on the objectives, and I see that their Brigitte is playing it pretty well, actually. So let's see if they can keep it up.
The only reason I brought it up is because, again, they wasn't able to kick quite around the corner. Was the only one caught out. It was not the reason they lost, but an interesting tech that popped in my mind because that's what casters do. They make it exciting, informative, and we're teaching you something. The comp coming out from the side, it's straight 3-3 on the side of Carolina. They decided to get Illumi back onto the Brig instead of sticking with the Ashe, which I think was doing a lot of value in my opinion. But on defense, we're sticking with the thing with what Shanghai had on the high ground. Again, they only were given 1 minute for Carolina to push forward, so they're right at the choke. They were giving it for free because this is a lot more defense.
There it is. The Ryan goes down. Reaper no raid.
Dynamite. A lot of damage from Murtix. 70%. Can he get a bomb for this to let them continue?
In the res.
RG tries to go in there to get the res. It's going to be CC taken down. Super King right now taken down as well. It is going to go into overtime as Carolina continues to push forward. you're Shanghai right now, do you just build up ults and get them off the point? What would you do?
You gotta play for the objectives, build up those ultimates. Right now, you know that you have your Reach of Ultimate coming online, and you have your Graviton, and you have Bob. You can combo those three, you can wipe them all out. You just need to get these support ultimates out of the way first. Take a dry fight, get them out of the way, and then win the next one. Just guarantee yourself a victory.
I want to point out that Cactus and Rutix do have that combo available. Super King's right here. Bob coming out from the high ground, goes onto the point, gets booped away.
Here comes the grab.
Grab and a
Beat drop.
grenade as well. Here comes the Lucio ult to keep
Too much healing.
keeps him alive. Shatter goes into the shield
Reaper
of
gets
Urzo. Is
one.
it gonna be enough? He does get the one pick onto Hero, but not before
But
his
here comes the bomb.
comes out. Shards from Urzo's
Yeah.
gonna finish off Chicken Egger. The Diva bomb kills off RG. Illumi finishes off Super King, and it looks like Shanghai, despite using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of their ult, was not able to knock Carolina off the payload, and they're gonna have to reset and try again. But they don't have much in their arsenal this time.
They made the classic mistake. They got nervous. They saw the overtime. They thought we could take an opportunity. Maybe they could take the fight early with the grab, but they didn't recognize the nade, the Brigida armor, and the beat drop. It was too much. Reaper Ultimate only got one out of it.
They do have the beat drop, but hopefully counteract the Star Destroyer's grab, because there's basically that's going to be enough to sustain most grabs coming out. A great shatter gets Runely and
Got
Cactus
two
on the
man.
ground. Charge is going to get
Double.
double kill from Urzo again. It does 50 damage to those who don't get pinned, and 300 to the one in the back. The Hero does get the Anna grenade onto Super King. Bob comes out on Riotix. Does not go to the point because it got booped off.
Oh,
Illumi, great use of the flail to make sure, because with Bob is on the point, it counts as being contested.
Big anti.
Another Anna grenade is going to allow them to get point B. It stays in overtime. Carolina is making the dream happen as they only started with the minimal amount of 1 minute that they're moving through the gate. I've seen some bugs happen on this when the gate comes forward and they get on here. They make sure someone stays on the point, absolutely, because sometimes that split little second lets the overtime actually go.
Really? No.
Runely gets picked off,
This
and so
they're
does
getting the
Cactus.
staggers.
Back up Shanghai. Shanghai, back up, regroup. You're down 2. Just make the one big fight. You can do it. But we
There's
still
no
got.
shame. No shame in winning and spawn, guys. Wait for your team. Alright, here it comes.
Rutix unfortunately gets picked off, and there's 5 ults. Here comes one
Is
of
it
them
big?
around the side. Mama RG gets him behind the shield at the very last second. Where
Here it comes. Reaper Ultimate. Beat drop.
Gets Anna grenaded. Not going to be enough. It's also countered by the Lucio ult from Carolina. Urzo getting chicken nugger, and they are continuing to push the W key, but they can't do too many people on the W key because then they're off the point. If they are off the point for almost maybe even a second, that overtime clock will drop like a rock in a lake, and it will just drop and drive you down. They're trying to get back. Runely is here trying to contest at the very last second. Less than 4 meters down. Reinhardt comes in, gets countercharged. Chicken on the floor. There's no ults to be used. And Hamster comes out from Cactus. Diva Bomb comes in to basically stop Graham to give him off the point. Said stop. We're going to make the dream happen. 1 minute's all they need to go from point A all the way to point C.
Man, what a round.
Great job from Carolina. Keeping it alive, using the ults as they are needed. Basically countering all the ults that were used from Shanghai. So Shanghai was there. They were getting staggered, unfortunately, quite heavily, especially during the Streets phase. They weren't able to really dig in and get a good defense in, and they just kept steamrolling it despite what you normally see the steamrolling is from the attackers when something like that has happened is keeping one on the point. They couldn't really do that because if someone got on the back line, maybe push the one person pushing the payload off, it would have stopped all progression. So they had to play with the point, and it worked for them. And I'm gonna let you. What do you think Shanghai should have done? And then tell me what you think Carolina did exceptionally well besides the great Anna grenades.
Man, let's talk about the great Anna grenades really quick. So the real key to victory was they ran a very strong composition. They ran goats. They played it on the point. So they had the sustain from the Brigida, they had the sustain from the Lucio, they had the passive healing from the cart, and they had Anna just to keep pumping healing into them. All of that, and although we saw a lot of ultimates coming in from Shanghai quite often, they did not take into account to get these abilities out beforehand. You would see the beat drop in the grab, you would see the rally go off, the Anna nade, all the damage coming in, Reaper with his ultimate, barely punching hole into all that HP regeneration. And all the fights took place on the cart. They weren't able to separate them. I would have recommended they've gone Ana or even a Sombra disable some of those abilities, but unfortunately they did not. And let's see, oh, they're playing a very tight, close defense.
They are going to be holding this corner very hard. Now, just over 2 minutes on the side of the attackers of Shanghai. And their grenade already used by Hero, and they're going to be trying to dive in the back, boost some poke damage with the actually being pocketed by Mama RG. Is going to be taken out by Sec. They're going to realize that they are up one. Ryutik's trying to do some poke on the Hero in the back. Is not going to be able to find the damage and find the kill. Dashes away, able to live another day. But this very aggressive defense coming out from Carolina seems to be working right now. What does Carolina need, or what does Shanghai need to do to push Carolina away from this corner?
Right now, they need to be able to deal a lot of damage. I'm not sure Reaper is the right choice, to be honest. Although people think he's strong in goats, he can be easily zoned, like you're seeing now. The bubbles, the barriers, the DM. It's hard for Reaper to do work. And there we go. He went Junkrat. Good choice. Just rely on the tire. Go ahead. Just... There comes the blade. He's damage boosted.
In the back.
Oh no!
It is not going to be enough. Not able to be enough. The charge from Chicken Nugger does get a Lumi, but he is paying for it as they're in the far back line. They did get around the corner though, but they come into the next choke.
Poor Junkrat.
Charge from Urzo is going to let him get ready for a shatter. 4 ults now online, 5 ults, soon to be 6 on the side of Carolina. We need to see maybe a big tire. We need to see. It seems that Shanghai is pushing in the back line, trying to make them come back, but there's almost no back line when you're playing 3 and 3 goats, because they're all very well clumped up and they're not giving the angles. You usually see Hero all the way back. He is playing properly with his team to make sure he can't be taken. They do allow this push from Shanghai to go underneath the first big choke, coming on the side. A lot of damage coming up with that run.
There comes the
Shatter is going to be going into the wall.
Here comes the counter slam, the grab.
Shatter stops a lot of damage that could.
Oh no! Here comes the bomb.
Bomb is going to be shielded. Great shield, but the Anna grenade is going to make it get Star Destroyer the kill. Super King getting shocked though. It is going back and forth. It is 5 on the side of Shanghai. Chicken Nugger's brought back up. Full
Here
fire
comes the tire.
Find somebody
get the run.
Find somebody important. Find it, but he does find Urzo.
Now the bomb comes out.
Basically to zone them off the point. Make sure they can get to this first one. And now we're in the same position that Carolina was in when they were on attack. We're going to say the same thing to Carolina on defense that we were saying to Shanghai. That I believe if you're going to wait, get your ults. You have a Diva Bomb. You have a grab. You can pull them off the point with the grab. You can make them turn around and shield with that Diva Bomb. But Illumi has switched actually off of the Brigitte and gone on to the McCree. Maybe to use the high ground. But we do have the change from Mutix up on in the fair, up on the iron. He does have the barrage. Here comes Justice. It's going to be deleted from Illumi, but he does get the great of Hero. It is just Cactus pushing the payload. I do like that it is Cactus in case there's somebody else. Mama RG coming back. They are fighting on the point. It's 5 members of Shanghai.
Diva's back in mech.
It is 5v5. Now it looks like Carolina's going to be backing up, getting a better defensive position around the corner. Diva's actually behind right now. If he can find the Sec is trying to find an easy pick. Mama RG finds him. A lot of them decide to turn around and try and deal with him. They do just dive.
Oh no.
Grab comes
very
out.
Very nice. There it is.
Grenade again. The Anna grenades are so huge, able to let the rest of his team clean it up. Carolina wins this one. They are leading this series 2-1 against Shanghai Staggered. What a game.
What a game. Yo, big shout out to Hero Brian. He's just carrying his team right now with these anti-nades. He's not letting them get eaten. He's not letting them get blocked. They're getting their value, and it shows. Oh, beautiful play of the game by Super King.
That was a quad kill. Basically helped with that 5th one, though. It was Bob who finished it up. Great game, guys. Back and forth, but Dorado does go to Carolina Cosmic. We are going to take a short break, and we'll be right back as we get ready for map number 4 and see if Shanghai can even it up.
welcome back to the Overwatch Community Cup semifinals between Shanghai Staggered against Carolina Cosmic. The score is 2-1 in favor of Shanghai?
Carolina.
Carolina. So let's quickly break down what went right here for Carolina Cosmic taking the victory on the Dorado map. Thoughts, Spiff?
I think Carolina was able to recognize when the shot calling of who was in their back line and who was trying to do some poke was well received and great reaction time, because any time I saw any of Shanghai go in the back, try and do some pressure onto Hero and to Jacques, they were turned around and deleted pretty easily, and not easily, but very quickly, and they were dealt with. So whoever's calling out the targets, they are all focusing together, and it was definitely working, and that's how you play goats. Otherwise, it's just a lot of damage spread out, a lot of people. And I believe Carolina was able to make it work just better than Shanghai.
And this question is for you, Gio. We did see Carolina come in on with goats, and then we saw kind of a response from Shanghai Stagger with the Pharah. Ultimately, obviously, it didn't really work out. What are your thoughts on that?
What that really tells me, they needed to stretch up the poking phase just a little bit more. So they had a lot of sustain. They should have baited some of those abilities out with the Pharah, like let's say getting the armor pack out, getting that amp out of them. That way when they did push in and Pharah's raining all that damage, not only is he building ultimate, but they have no way to counteract it. Even if they ate up, like let's say, got rid of some of the Matrix, but unfortunately the Pharah couldn't find herself in a good position. She was dealing damage, but her team just couldn't take advantage of the space. It was too small for them to do. So if they extended that phase just a little bit longer, I think they would have had a much easier time. And I also saw they didn't really set up with the barrages a little bit. Even with the protection, the Pharah was taken down time and time again. So it's unfortunate, but that's the punishment for not being able to play into goats with the Pharah very well.
Let's quickly talk about Shanghai Stagger. We saw Ryutex, I believe, swap to multiple heroes. We saw him once on the Genji, on the Ashe. It actually did work out, in my opinion. It was the first attack when they were pushing, and that worked out once he swapped. And then we saw him on the Pharah. My question is for you, GL. You think that having a flex player like Ryutex, is that something beneficial for the team? I mean, ultimately, again, the Pharah didn't work. Should they just maybe mirror the GOATS comp and go with that route?
You can definitely mirror the comp. So if as a DPS you know you're not being very effective and it's not like on space or whatever, then suggesting that there's no shame in it, and that way you can actually help out the team. As far as he was playing, I thought he was playing okay, but he wasn't making an impact. He was dealing damage, but it was only during, let's say, ultimates or someone was just caught in the open that I really saw that he was able to do work, and his team just had a hard time going into goats because they just killed up all the damage that they tried it with Genji, tried it with Soldier. He was dealing the damage, but he got his ultimate, but unfortunately it was quickly negated. So maybe even switching to, let's say, even a Zarya to better enable your front line, and you can still do your damage, might have been the right answer. Or maybe just telling the team, hey, I need to go on this crazy flank, I need you guys to push now. That way he can actually hit that back line, because I saw he tried a couple of times, but they caught him and he was taken up very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know your thoughts on that as well, Spiff. Actually, what went right for Cosmic? Like, even though they were running goats, something that everyone was kind of familiar with at this point, there is a certain level of skill that it takes to pull out a good goat composition, especially when they have a quote-unquote counter to your composition, which was the pharmacy.
Oh, yeah.
How did that work out for them?
I think they were able to... They dealt with the Pharah when they realized that was being an issue, especially back when it came to Streets phase. They had Illumi switch off onto the hit scan again, was able to help the D.Va delete her and zone her out when needed. But what I saw Carolina doing well with the GOATS comp is playing together as a team in a group to not allow any of the flankers, any of the divers to find an easy target. Their entire team was there to back everyone else up. Again, you usually see the Ana trying to stay far back. Her value is being able to do super long range and great grenades. And we saw not so much the range because it didn't need it, but back grenades. And that more or less, in my opinion, let the match go more in favor of Carolina.
Okay, so we are actually going to talk about the fourth map here, and that's going to be Eichenwald. So that it's one of my favorite maps as well, just because of the way of how difficult it is to break through on that first choke. I want to know your thoughts on how to break that choke, GL.
My personal opinion, Eichenwald's first point is one of, if not the hardest choke point, because I'm sure we've all had those games where it just feels impossible to break through, and the enemy team isn't even really trying. With it, honestly, just go goats, take the first point, swap to whatever else you want, right? Just use the bubbles, use the shield, use the speed, just get in there, break their composition. Even if they have like a Bastion, even if they have the Orisa pull, you can definitely overcome that with the massive sustain that you have through goats. You fail, you come back, you have suddenly 2 support ultimates, boom, you win the fight, right? So just working together, making sure you don't take all the spam damage before you turn the corner, and bring the fight to point. You don't want to fight the choke because it's gonna kill you. You're gonna get a stagger, you might get a pick or two, but it won't be enough. You gotta get the fight to the point and make sure you're contesting, forcing them to come out into an open area. And with a composition like goats, you can wipe them out very, very quickly there. That's my 2 cents on it.
I would even throw a Hammond into play, just hook and push everyone behind. Spiff, once again, we're going to talk about your defense composition really quickly to counter GL's offensive comp.
If they even suspect the goats, which I hope they actually do, I wouldn't be surprised to see them actually hold above the point. But one of the weaknesses, there aren't too many of them, but one of the weaknesses, in my opinion, is taking control of the high ground against a goat. So I'd like to see them be on the point, behind it, above it. Maybe a Bastion if they really expect there to be another goats comp, because of so much damage going through that there is sustain, but if they're able to protect something like a high damage dealer, or maybe even a Symmetra with the turrets on the high, because there isn't much that goats can do when it comes to dealing with people on the high ground when they can't get up there very easily, and the high ground on this first point is not easily got to.
Excellent. With that in mind, we are ready to battle. Casters, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are on map number 4. Top left in your blue is going to be Shanghai Staggered. Top right in your red, again, is Carolina Cosmic. They are currently leading the series 2-1 against Shanghai. Here we are in Eichenwald. I love Eichenwald for several reasons that we've already talked about, including Julix, but I like hybrid maps in general because it adds a little bit of flair. The difference between CP or capture point and payload, you have to actually unlock the payload first by capturing the point, and then you move it forward to the end. I also like the backstory that comes with here in Eichenwald. It is Reinhardt's home. It's where he lost his mentor. It was his mentor, not his dad. But Shanghai's going to be starting here on defense. Going to be holding the right side of the point to basically not give a lot of sight lines for poke when the attackers come forward. Carolina is going to be stick with a very high sustain of 3 heals. Going to be having Lumi on the McCree, and they're pushing forward on the right, seeing that they're basically given this free movement, and their poke damage starts, the bubbles come out, damage happens. Ranger does get the easy first pick onto Star Destroyer, who is on the Brigitte. Great grenade onto Jacques, gets trapped and deleted by Aqua Kid. And now that both teams have seen what the other team has, Carolina's going to back up. They're going to see if they're going to make any changes to their composition.
Very, very nice place from the defense side. I also like the composition because should the attackers choose to go dive, they already have heroes in place to deal with it. So this is a good setup for the defense right now. Let's see how they play it. It's ultimately up to the tanks to give the space for the McCree to get in. See what happens.
Illumi is deciding to flank to bring some pressure to the other side away from his tanks as they start the poke phase again on this side. Only doing very far flank, trying to get you a Brutix. Brutix instead says, here, I have an arrow for you. Another pick from Aqua Kid. Tyre gets a double kill. Definitely stopping this second push from Carolina. Let's see what they're gonna be swinging some switches,
Aqua
but
Kid
Carolina's
with the
gonna reset.
triple.
Oh! Okay, Aqua, we got you, sir. You got him. You got him, man. You got him. What does Carolina need to do? I do see the switch, double switch. They're going to be going into Pharah Mercy. Do you agree with it?
I agree with it. It's a good choice. They only have to really contest the Ana and the Hanzo. So if you can zone them out, that's time that they're not healing the team. So you should be able to deal some damage and get in there. Let's see. We're coming on with both slams, so let's see how. Oh, Ryder gets put. Oh, he got a double.
Does get Ryumi, but gets booped into
Got the bubble.
air. Saved.
Dragon.
Urzo had the ability to actually get double kill there, but thanks to a great bomb from Junkrat, got him up in the air. Grab comes out from the side of Carolina. Great Ana grenade. Urzo gets the double kill onto the healers. Illumi's up in the air, gets his own double kill. Great back and forth. It's going to be Carolina unlocking the payload and start moving forward.
Very, very nice. And you can see they have a very nice, healthy ult bank. They have the Pharaoh Barrage. They should be pushing right now. Get them at the doors. Yeah, that's right. Get rid of the only hit's going to deal with you. Never
Unless
mind.
you run into a Ryutix who was already set in place with that Ashe swap. Now, Illumi does get res right away, so we're back to
It's okay, it
full
didn't happen.
strength.
Res says
Yeah,
it didn't happen.
It totally didn't. Star Destroyer, who, in my opinion, has actually shown how what their hero pool is, because we saw Star Destroyer on the Zarya on the first map, and here he is healing on him.
Nice job,
Shatter
Helium.
comes out, is going to be delayed enough to get Ranger on the ground. Another big Ana grenade allows
Tire
him to
goes
get
down.
cleaned up. Tire is taken out by the rocket from Illumi, and they're pushing forward as Sek gets his own double kill. Trying
Beautiful
to find
air
those
shot.
flankers. Great push from Carolina. Shanghai is going to have to reset their defense. Hopefully they're going to probably have maybe one. Do you think they can get 2 defenses in here if they can win this next
They
fight?
gotta be fast. If they can do it, they can definitely get another chance to recontest. But here comes the Bros. Look, he's waiting for it. He's waiting for the Rhine.
He's
Gonna
above
wait
it.
for the
Another
bubble.
Ana grenade.
There it
Justice
is.
raining from above.
But it's not enough.
Gets him down. It's 1-1.
The
5v5. Valkyrie coming on the side of Carolina. Sek does find Ryutix.
Nice.
Favorite grab comes out from Shanghai. No.
That only catches the Rhine.
Not enough. They are basically staggering the point. They're going to be fighting for time right now. As Runely is still here. Gonna be
Wait,
swimming.
oh, he got the boop.
Aqua Kid gets the boop onto Sect. Aqua Kid has come back onto the Junkrat, is still keeping it alive. Gonna be the first
Still
one.
doing it.
Not the
Oh.
Lucio. There's the Lucio kill from Star Destroyer.
The double slam.
Reinhardt getting getting a statter and a stud off. That was very big.
They're
It's
still
very
staggering.
beautiful,
Still
but it's
doing
not
it. Big
enough.
burn.
And they're still fighting for time right now. Every single second does count. And, you know, it didn't seem like they were definitely going to win that fight. I understood Shanghai, but I like that they were there. It takes 10 seconds plus to get through this door. And that's 10 plus more seconds I think that Shanghai has to defend around this next corner.
Man, that was a really nice job at the end there. I wasn't expecting for them to hold on as long as they did, but they were able to do it. So nice job on them. Now it's 6-on-6, and we have healthy ults on both sides. Let's see, the tire is the big key here. Let's see,
Here
let's see.
comes the tire coming around the corner, not really hiding, hard to hide. It comes right in the middle of it. It's
gets
been taken
taken.
out by Jacques Boop. Was not able to be used as Shektis comes around from the side. Lucio ults come out on the sides, both sides. Huge shatter land.
Big
Is not going to
blob.
find anyone. Bob boots
Bob
up.
is on the field.
Knocks the Reinhardt up into the air, starts doing a lot of damage into the shield. Sect essentially flanking from on the left side of the point, again from the defender's side. Ryutix does this shock. There could be a great stagger here onto the side of, from Shanghai onto Carolina. If they recognize that there's Zarya, there he is. 10 more seconds that it looks like Carolina's got to wait before they can push forward again.
But they do have now the grab with the nano visor. They can use the grab to bait out some key ultimates and follow it up with that nano visor. Get them in position. Oh, a
Great
beautiful
pick from Illumi.
big
Here
pick.
comes out the
Here he comes.
Knights does
He
find
nanoed
Ryutix
with
in
the
the high ground
damage
behind
boost.
the shield.
The Rhine is down.
Reinhardt's charged. They
Oh,
get
and he's
integrated
going
and
deep. He's
destroyed.
going deep.
4
Let's do
members. Wiped off
Beautiful job.
my face of the map. They're gonna get some
Beautiful
switches
job,
in here.
soldier.
What else?
Soldier, take ground. Don't just sit on the floor. No, don't be there.
Don't
he
be
did such a
there
great
indeed.
job.
They are going to have one more chance at defense. Here they come. They got the ults. Grab comes out, finds 2.
Everyone's safe.
Grab. Sek getting a
The-
double kill from being on the other side of the grab. Ryutix does get his own double kill onto Hero and Illumi, but right now it's not enough. The Sek cleans him
They're
up.
still on point. They're still moving it.
Both of the Zarya players from Carolina, doesn't matter who it is, they are doing some big plays. Now the respawn advantage is on the side of Shanghai as Ranger is here with Runely and Mirari. Aqua Kid coming back on the Tracer. Ranger is slept up by Sek. Urzo's taken down by Aqua Kid. Sek is making these big plays, staying alive. High charge, it is just him, and they were able to make that last defense. 4.52 meters left. Carolina, you still got a minute and a half left.
Yo, right now they're in a fantastic advantage. The card is almost at the end. and they have a big beat drop, and they have the Shatter coming online, and they're ahead in the grab fight. They definitely got this. In fact, they went Brigida. This is good. You can bait the bubbles out and get the stun on Ranger, you get the slam, and you get the win. Very, very easy. They went McCree to make it even easier for them. There's a lot of pressure right here on Ranger to make sure he doesn't get caught out. There goes
Shatter
the
does
slam.
find one. They're just on the other side of the shield. Charges in.
did it.
Great Anna grenade from the side of Shanghai. They're going to push forward on that. That counter. Shatter does get Mirari on the ground. Swung with a hammer to get cleaned up. But right now, Carolina is on the losing side of this engagement. Especially when Ryutix takes down Urza, they're pushing forward, making the first engagement be a little sooner in the fight as they let the payload back up. Carolina resets once more.
Very, very nice job of getting the Shatter on the sect. Lost out in the fight, didn't get his grab, and now they're down. They lost those support ultimates. But let's see what they can do. Let's see, the grab is still there and it's still a threat. Let's see if they can counteract it.
They are essentially running the Genji and the bomb. The bomb goes right on the shield, not going to find value. I'm surprised he stayed on the Tracer more or less to make sure he still was in the fight. Grab finds just Ranger, charged and bashed. He gets hit out of the grab, then comes back into it.
There comes the slam.
Great Shatter on the ground, gets Ryutix and Mirari on the ground. Sect helps clean him up with Urzo. Hyra getting the kill onto Aqua Kid, and Ryutix is taken down as well. This Zarya cannot be stopped. Such high charge, such right click, such left click, able to find some great picks. They might have one more defense here. Aqua Kid stopping the progression of the pale, get taken out before he was able to able to recall. Eugene no karaoke coming up from Ryutix, needs to find some kills, finds one on Jacques. Salumi's thinking about Rune Lee. Zach is just finding these kills, gets the kill from on the high hero as well. But Urzo cleans up the rest of Shanghai with his own double kill. They do get the full cap here on Eichenwald.
Very, very nice job on the attacker's side. Able to bait out some of those ultimates, and when they finally took care of the Ryan, the slam was free. That was a great, great job on them to be able to take out Ranger.
Man, I can't believe how long and how high charge Sect was during the entire time. It was a flanking Zarya from what I could tell.
Building that ult charge.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
very fat ult charge, and when he grabbed, he'd be on the other side, and Ranger could not figure out, do I shield this front or the back? Because Zarya's high charge, right click punch does a lot and definitely helped clean it up. And we thought Star Destroyer was good. I think Carolina just has like this pocket of really high skilled Zarya players. We just saw another one come into play.
Absolutely fantastic to see that they have a wide versatile hero pool. And it looks like they're going to be sticking with the triple heals. They seem to really favor that tonight. I seem to like the sustain and the ability to push through choke points. Seems to be working quite well for them tonight. Let's see.
Do you think Star Destroyer is more or less being that third healer, but actually playing her as a DPS? We see it a lot on the Owls, where the flex DPS player is the one that goes through the Brigitte, and it's almost. And again, for those of you who may or may not remember, Goats is simply made. It went 3 tanked and 3 support. It was started by a team that their name was Goats. But the main things you need to have to make Goats work is Brigitte and Lucio. They've been backing it up with an Ana. They sometimes do Zen. They sometimes do Moira. But they've been sticking with those 3 healers, and then you'd have 3 tanks like a Ryan Zarya, and then either a Diva, actually mostly always Diva, but sometimes you'd see another more mobile tank to kind of contest the high ground. Here on defense from Carolina, they are going to be sticking again, as he said, with 3 supports. Illumi's going to be dealing most of the damage from the poke phase, but they are holding up a little.
Aqua's coming in for the flank. It's going to be kind of hard with the Brigitte being ready to counter her, as well as the Lucio to boop her back.
I like where Fair is playing around
the
corner, gets the pin on the Star Destroyer, does fall down, up Shanghai 6v5. Shock is getting pretty low, gets healed right back up. They are an advantage. Shanghai needs to push forward. I like that Aqua Kid is basically putting a lot of pressure from the side. Chicken Nugget does get hero. Great big pick. Is only Jacques there to heal. Ranger comes down. Beautiful. Gets the shatter kill onto Jacques. 1 fight, 1 shatter, and that's 1 point captured for Shanghai Staggered.
Great job. Great to see it. Yo, the pin on the Brigitte made all the space. Now Ryan didn't have a Brigitte to defend him. They were in, and there comes the stagger with the Ana.
Was Hero AFK? He was in the not the staggered spawn, but in the close spawn. So Tracer just basically walked up and deleted Hero without Hero, I think, moving. He's moving now, which is good.
Oh, does it happen again? Is there a part 2?
And here they're doing exactly what happened before. Ryutix is on the side.
He's just free-farming. He's gotten 40% ult charge already.
Boops off the defenders from the high ground. Urzo is caught out on the back all by himself. they will need to capitalize on that as they push forward. He's able to join the rest of the team, was being healed up, but Ryuchik is going to help delete him, keeping it in check. But great counter push. Both Reinhardt's taken out of the equation until Mirari comes forward with the res to keep the push from Shanghai really strong. Great Anna grenade again from Hero. It Shock gets the boop on the Ranger, takes
the Mercy versus McCree, and the Mercy and Farah win.
Farah does take that pick on Illumi again. Illumi's not able to get the value that he needs. He needs the support of his team from his Reinhardt shield to be able to poke at the Farah and the Mercy up in the air. Can't deal with him himself. It's very hard. If he was able, maybe do you think he should switch to a Widow to maybe get the one-hit headshot, or what? And if you are the defending team right now and you're being bullied by Ryutix, is it just the one McCree you think is enough?
I don't think so. The fall off damage is too much because he has a pocket. He needs to get a double or a triple headshot, and if he gets zoned out, like if Farah chooses to fight him, who can really help him out? He doesn't have that that pocket with him like the Farah does. So and look, he's already down.
Off the high ground, very good play. Uses it from Ryutix. Aqua Kid in the background, grab comes out. Just the frame from Lucio.
But they counter it.
Illumi does get Aqua Kid, counter grab, only gets Mirari. Bubble comes out from Zari to keep him alive. Does get out of there just fine. The charge comes out. Really going to be a boop Illumi off. And Mirari is going to be taken down by Urzo. And Sek getting double kills, getting Runely and a triple kill. Just being a Zarya. And even just trying to push back Ryutix up in the air. Great defense. And I love the positioning from Hero. And as Ryutix takes his own life to get regroup with the rest of his team. Great Zarya play again. Sect is basically, he was doing a great job on attack for Carolina. He's doing a great defense here for them as well.
Yo, let's talk about the Jox Lucio play there. Like in the grab, he had a great timed ultimate, saved his team from a barrage. I didn't see a single person go down. That's very hard to pull off. A lot of Lucios seem to struggle with the timing there, so special shout out to him. Here comes the pulse bomb, no picks.
Pulse bomb, not able to find one. I love the shatter comes out, not able to find anyone. Ryutix punches Illumi in the face. It is Shanghai up 6v5 right now, and Illumi did have high noon. Charge comes out again, does find Star Destroyer on the bottom of the stairs. 6v4 right now in favor of Shanghai. Another punch from Ryutix is going to make it 6v3, and Jock here is trying to stall the point, and it looks like Sect is trying to run away, not able to get there. And it's just the Lucio here, staggering very well, gets booped off. And Illumi does get Aqua Kid, who's just trying to hold that the attacking position up much farther than he should have, being in the close quarters. Jock is going to be finally taken out by Chicken Nugget. There's going to be one more defense coming out here from Carolina, and they have the ults to do it, I think.
Yep. It's unfortunately so went down. They needed the speed. Now the enemy team
Shatter gets Mirari and Ranger on the ground. Fire Strike finishes off the Mirari and Ranger is taken out by Sek. Really does boop off the beat drop. Lucio ult is here to sustain. There's another boop. High Noon comes out just to finish off Ryutix to make sure they can't get this point B very easily. They got a minute 40 left, but that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ults used on the defensive side. I think Shanghai's sitting pretty to get point B.
I think they're in a great place right now. They can cycle ultimates. The enemy team has one ultimate to stop them, the Grev, and they definitely can beat it with just a beat and just slam. Oh, there goes pulse bomb. There comes the Grev.
Grabs come out. Who can follow up the best? Shatter comes in, not able to find value. Second, Lumi finding picks. Star Destroyer as well. Urzo gets his own as well. Getting Chicken Nugget. It looks like, and it was 1, 2, 3 ults used from Shanghai. It was not enough to counter the one that came out from Carolina.
Absolutely insane. Definitely want to go back and see that. They had the advantage. They seem to have gotten the panic with the grab. Ultimates came out of sequence, and it was just unfortunate. Now the card has moved past the bridge, giving the defenders the chance to recontest if they fail or get this.
Hero looks like he's disconnecting and standing still, letting Really get the pick.
Nice.
Gonna use the karaoke double kill on the Lumian Star Destroyer. Ranger's gonna finish up Urzo. Sect is gonna be booped
and there's
off
the boot
into Oblivion. I feel like there was a disconnect there because Hero was around the corner and was not moving. But Shanghai is going to get this point B.
Oh, looks like we're calling for a pause.
Yep. I think it's because, yeah.
Yep.
Hero DC'd. I think something like that happened earlier when we saw Aqua Kid on Tracer push forward after they got in the cart. But definitely standing still is usually a good indicator that the person isn't there.
My personal favorite is when they're running into a wall and the team fight is on the other side of the map. That's my personal favorite.
I mean, that's even a bigger tell, because unless, well, you know, maybe the cat got on there, but it seems like it's a
Could be.
hiccup versus a full DC. So they are back. It did allow Shanghai to basically get that, got some more time in their bank, and they are going to push forward to point 3 or point C on in front of the throne. They are going to hold up at this first corner. They'd switched off the Tracer onto a Sombra. I do like that, because again, Sombra's ult actually deletes any Lucio ult.
Big 75-man!
Teams are taking a nap.
It's a 5-man.
This is just a group nap that they were all taking. It was just Ranger that was going to be up for that one. Aqua Kid coming forward to be able to capitalize on it. Gets Urza. Rutix dashes forward, gets Star Destroyer, but Lumi deletes him right afterwards. Mirari is going to bring him back up, and Shock is deleted by Chicken Nugget. They're going to hold up just a little bit. They have over a minute in their time banks. If they can get it up, contested, if they get up,
5 seconds.
they stay above a minute. If they stay above a minute, there's not going to be enough contest time.
No!
And it touches it! It's a minute! Okay, they were able to get it under the minute. We'll tell you why that's important later. Eugenio Karaoke comes out again.
Comes the EMP, beautiful
Big
EMP. Blade is going out.
Big EMP stops the Lucio L from using all the value, but it's not going to be enough as Rutix is then finally deleted. Now GL, so people understand, why were we talking about 1 minute?
Gotta remember, at the end of these hybrid maps, if you're able to finish the objective with over a minute and your enemy doesn't, they don't get a chance to attack again. You get that opportunity, and they can only force a draw. Unfortunately, if they had just kept 3 on the payload, they would have taken it. It was
Small little percentage difference.
A little
You think he
tick.
won, but that little bit would have mattered. Great hack under
Big slam.
combo shatter, and they're there around the corner. The
Slam.
chance comes in, and a boost comes out of the side of Carolina. Lucio L Valkyrie used. Chicken Nugget does get down Jacques. Great
Ryan
combo
goes
that
down,
came
the
out
Rez
from
is
that.
coming
Star Destroyer
online.
does get that.
Ryan is
Razor's
back.
brought right back up. That's why I see Rugix punches a Lily to death.
Here comes
and
the
other
big
shatter
slam.
comes out. Ruli, Aqua Kid, Chicken Nugget are on the ground. Ruli is deleted. Himurari
Comes the grab.
no heals, the grab comes out. Carolina with a beautiful
Another
defense.
blade. He's coming in,
Another blade
but
is
it's
trying
not
to-
enough.
It's gonna be deleted. Carolina Cosmic on Eichenwald. Great defense is going to take the series against Shanghai Staggered 3-1. Beautiful game, beautiful defense, beautiful combos. Play of the game from Urzo. What do we got here? Is this going to be the combo counter shatter?
So many shatters this game. It was fantastic. Oh, this is when he goes deep. Goes in the sky.
Just being able to do all the damage into there. There was a great combo from the side of Shanghai that opened up what could have happened. Great hack onto the Reinhardt. Aqua Kid was able to hack Urzo. Followed up from Ranger on a brilliant shatter. The timing, I feel, was off by just a few seconds. Shanghai was not all there in range to deal with the just everyone was on the ground. And the shatters before that, 12 people were on the ground.
Makes me wonder what was going on in comms there, because maybe there was a disconnect, a panic, or something, especially with the EMP. They had the people and the numbers, but the follow-up wasn't there. So,
Oh
still
man!
a
But I just want
great
to
game.
quickly break down this final game. That's gonna be a wrap for the series. So, can we just before we talk about the finals, let's break down this final game for Shanghai Staggered and Carolina Cosmic. Aside from Chicken Nugget on the side of Staggered, who was the better Reinhardt? At the end of the day, they were just, in my opinion, like the same. The way they built out their shatters, like it was almost at the same time. They knew when to bait each other, and it just made a very interesting match. Gia, I want to know your thoughts on the front line for both teams. What went right and what went wrong?
Both Ryans played very well, very well. Similar skill levels, but the reality was Urso had the better team behind his back. They supported him. They were able to get him in there. In case you didn't see it at the end, but Star Destroyer had a 74 defensive participation. That means he was actually keeping the healing going. He was in the front line. He was providing the stuns on the enemy Ryan, creating the space, backing up his Ryan, allowing for that shatter to go off again and again and again, as we saw at the end. So fantastic team support. I wish I got that much support when I was playing games. Not gonna lie, it was absolutely fantastic to see.
Spiff, I want to know your takeaways from this final match. Once again, we did see a very, very close match. This Shanghai Staggered pretty much tried everything on the books, from switching to a standard front line to pulling in a Sombra. It's something that I haven't seen them do the entire season, if I'm honest. So, what was your takeaway here from this final match from both sides?
I think the Sombra was a great pick. I like the fair in the air when it came to the Streets phase, or as we call Streets phase, like point B. The great combo and coordination used to get a hack and a shatter right away is beautiful, and I think that would have helped solidify and maybe shut down Sect, because if Sect can't use the bubbles on the Zarya, it was great. There was a great EMP that came out that stopped the Lucio's ult from getting value, because again, EMP gets rid of shields, which includes the Lucio ult, which is huge. So you can use that to counteract the counter. But I do like that they tried different things. I'm still glad they didn't just go goats and try and smash their head, two rams butting each other in the head. They did great plays, but Carolina Cosmic definitely came out.
All right, so now that we covered the final map, I want to talk to you guys about the actual finals for season 1. So now we have Carolina Cosmic versus San Francisco Shook. I really liked what I saw from Carolina Cosmic coming in tonight. They were working as a team, very compact, and they had strats, and they stuck to them, and it seems to pay off at the end. Same thing we saw with San Francisco Shook last night, especially when they end up drawing a map on Hanamura, because both teams were just playing that well when it came to defending and attacking. So, Spiff, I want to know your thoughts on the upcoming final between Carolina Cosmic and San Francisco Shook.
I expect to see Carolina sticking with the big triple support, using the Brigitte more as a defense in the backup to the Rhine. I agree completely with GL. Being able to back up your tanks when they go to make plays works out so well. It's a version. I'm glad they're not doing necessarily the whole time full goats. They do throw in that DPS. Illumi's a very good flex. I like seeing that. They move together as a unit. So did San Francisco yesterday. I saw them move as a unit, and both these teams that are coming into the finals. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm not going to be surprised if we go to a game 5.
To be honest with you, I think they still apply the same rule where they have to win 3 maps. So I'm looking forward. We go all the way to the end. I want to see everything out of these two teams, especially during the playoffs. They have been massive. But Gio, this question is for you. You are the coach for Carolina Cosmic. What do you tell them before the big final?
The big final? You know what the game plan is? Tonight they showed a great performance. A few hiccups. Just go talk about them. Say, hey, what deviated from the plan? What needs to change? But they did a fantastic performance. They have the GOAT's composition in their pocket, but they are not dependent on it, and that's big in my eyes. So they have that ready, so they need it. If all else fails, they go GOATs, but they can start with other strategies. And if they get countered, they can swap off. That's the big thing that I see. And I suspect this team has strategies ready for San Francisco Shook. So that looks to be an exciting game. And game 5 seems very, very likely. I have seen Shook play, and I suspect both will go the distance. So I'm very, very excited to see that game.
This question is for you, Spiff. You are the coach for San Francisco Shook. You took them all the way to the finals. What do you say to them before you leave the locker room?
I'm
game
gonna
over,
say,
man.
I'm going to say, I want to review those VODs. How does Carolina play the different maps? I truly believe if there's a good Sombra player, that a lot of how well and how Carolina Cosmic was able to keep sustaining with the Lucio ults, the Rhine barriers, and being able to basically counter the ults coming at them with the great support ults, a great EMP shuts all of that down and guarantees a good team wipe combo with a Grav. Because they didn't have... If they can give you a shutdown that way, because their supports are basically holding them up to allow them to make those great plays, if you can shut down the supports in the back, who are actually not in the back, they're actually with the team. The best way to do that is with the EMP. So you need a good Sombra to be able to build up the ult charge, and get it off to give you that near guaranteed team wipe to push them back, at least for one fight.
One fight. Okay, guys. So with that in mind, we don't have a clear date as to when the final is going to be, but rest assured that you can find it on this channel. So make sure you hit that follow button. And Spiff, we're going to start off with you. Where can everyone find you?
Well, guys, you can find me over at twitch.tv/spifftasticme, as well as on Twitter. You have our links to all the casters here you saw on here, Julik, myself, and GL. Guys, I stream about 6 days a week. If you're looking for somebody family-friendly, positive, and happy to play things like Overwatch and not tilt or get ragey or curse, drink, or smoke on or off stream, and play other random games that are silly like Yakuza 0 or Danganronpa, I'd love you to come hit the follow button over here. Again, twitch.tv/spifftasticme. I do stream, again, it's Saturday through Thursday at 6 Eastern.
Excellent. GL, where can people find you?
Plenty enough. You can find me on twitch.tv at GL260. You'll probably watching me lose some games and rage quite often, but it's all right. It's all right.
Both ends of the spectrum. I like it.
Both ends of the spectrum. You can go watch Spiff for a good time, or you can just watch a man suffer under the grinding ladder. It's your choice, ladies and gentlemen.
And for me, you can find me on Twitch, Julik, and on Twitter at Julik487. But once again, a reminder that the final is coming up very soon. So in order for you to watch it, make sure you tune in, hit that follow button to get notified as to when we go live. The final is going to be a very exciting one. It's going to be Carolina Cosmic that you saw tonight, winning 3-1 against Shanghai Staggered, going against San Francisco Shook, that were also pushed up to a 3-1 fourth map. So both teams coming in with a really, really intense momentum. They were challenged for a bit. All the matches were very, very tight. So I'm expecting nothing but the best from these two teams coming up on Season 1 for the Overwatch Community Cup. And that's going to be it for me, guys.
Don't forget, Julik, you're forgetting
something
very important.
I'm forgetting something very important.
And you're remembering it. Go ahead.
Spiff, we are going to stick with the MVP of the losing side first. So that's going to be Shanghai Staggered. Please, thank you for reminding me, but go ahead.
I am going to give it to Rune Lee, my good man, my good bro, my good Lucio player, especially with his play on Lijiang Tower, getting some great boops positioning, although they weren't able to win, I'm definitely going to say having a good Lucio is just like having a good coat in the winter. You don't necessarily need it because you can brave the cold, but if you have a good coat, you got a good Lucio, and I'm going to give it to
GL, we're going to focus MVP for the side of Shanghai Staggered.
Shanghai Staggered, I'm gonna give it to Star and Ana. I'm divided between the two, but I'm gonna give it to Star. He showed very, very strong abilities. What stood out in my mind was he was able to actually have the discipline on his grabs. At one point on Harmora, he had grab, and it was a 1v1, and he didn't press that Q. So many Zarios would just be like, I got this, I'm gonna solo this guys, and then die anyway. So it was absolutely fantastic to see the discipline and the ability to play more than just one hero at the level we saw playing tonight. So that was really, really good on his end, and he gets my MVP.
Excellent. We're going to move over to the winning side with Carolina Cosmic. Spiff, MVP.
You know, I have my MVP, but I'm going to give, like, compliments to Star Destroyer and Sect for their great Zarya play. I am bad at Zarya, but they were able to make it work. But my MVP goes to Hero Bryant on that Ana. Holy flip! I have never seen so many great Ana grenades, well-timed, well-placed, Ana boosts come out. Being able to stay alive as often as he did. I love supports that are able to support well. I'm giving it to Hero.
Excellent. GL, your MVP for the winning side of Carolina Cosmic.
Gonna be Hero too. The fact that he plays Hero well, you saw the consistent sleeps, you saw the nades go out, and you saw him only a few times getting caught out in the open, and he quickly corrected himself. So like you said, a support that can support themselves and support the team just makes everybody's day better. So kudos to him, and definitely deserves that the MVP for tonight.
On the high note, both teams played amazing. They brought a really, really interesting Overwatch match for us to cast and enjoy. But that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you very much to everyone that tuned in. And we'll catch you soon with the finals. Thanks.